So this is a video I've actually been wanting to make for a while, and I guess the symptoms have actually died off a lot for me. From sort of diagnosis, it was worse, and now it's better. But my struggle and constant struggle to actually watch the news or read in a lot of newspapers. Now it goes a lot deeper than this, but I'll put it simply as far as brain cancer, like I've got, which is a terminal illness, and a lot of terminal illnesses. You always ask the question of why me and what have I done to deserve it? Now, on the flip side of that, I hate watching the news where you'll see someone who's convicted of, say, murder or being a pedophile or some absolutely terrible, terrible act. And you see on the news, say they're 60 years old and then they get 10 years in jail. And I really struggle to watch this being like, well, I've never done that. I've lived a life where I've been kind to others, and I'd say all in all a pretty good bloke, and somehow I've got more of a death sentence than pretty much anyone who's done any of that. And in the beginning I actually could not physically watch the news. It would just send me into a absolute downward spiral of, I guess, depression and anxiety, as far as I would see, say, someone arrested, for killing someone, and then get, say, 10 years in prison, and maybe like, hang on, I've never done that yet. I've got less years than that left on this earth. How is that fair? Who's pulling the puppet strings here, and being fair in that? And that was something so hard to watch and see. And I still see it every day that, I've been pretty much given a death sentence with my illness, for doing nothing. And I think that is something people like me with these diseases find really, really hard, is seeing sort of how unfair this world can be. Now, I'm a big one in supporting that you're owed nothing in this life. You're not even owed your own health. The universe and the earth owes you nothing. But I think it's a bit of a human condition that you think, well, if I'm a good person, I'll live a good life. And for the majority, that's true. And, that doesn't give you permission to go around being an asshole. But on the other hand, living in a society where sometimes the punishment never meets the crime. For some things you see on the news, yet I haven't committed a crime, yet I've been handed a death sentence. And I think a lot of people dealing with illnesses like this have similar thoughts. And I know, I've had to pull back massively on the news, because it just continually shows this, and the injustice of the world, and how unjust it can be for me and lovely people I've met with similar illnesses, or at least prognosis, and the injustice of people who are terrible, terrible people and have done terrible things, yet they might have a few years behind bars and then live a happy life and get to grow old and die. And that the injustice of that, that constantly preys on me. And that's why, I've found it hard to watch the news. And I'm more actually wondering from this if anyone else has experienced anything like this. So thank you very much for watching again. I've got heaps of videos on my YouTube and whatever if you're interested in seeing more. And thanks for getting this far through it. Cheers.